Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. We have a decent amount of replays again, so let's just get straight into it. I did change out the layout this season, but it's still a meme, intentionally. This time around, looks like they have the maxed out tactics room on column 3. Don't particularly see that too often, but it works in their favor here against Chrom. And the builds aren't too special, it's basically the same stuff. I'm not sure what I was expecting to happen this season, but some interesting stuff happened, I guess. First things first, Ellawood is not going to die to Est because of the impact from Blazing Durandal. But of course, Est has advantage, so yeah, gotcha, as she says. And Chrom doesn't have Wings of Mercy, which is something I was like, should I use it? Should I not use it? I was like, we'll just try using it this week. And well, yeah, obviously that wasn't going to end well. And because of how the AI works, Shamir attacks adjacent to Olivia, which is not good for us. And here Duma misses the one shot by a whopping 1 damage, but of course Marianne does heal thanks to her weapon, so it totally wasn't close, Kappa. But yeah, that's just Marianne doing a lot of damage. When I was using her in Ether Raids, she did quite a bit of damage, and my entire team enables her weapon, so free double real estate. At this point, Chrom can't really do much here because the turn's upcoming and Marianne has a special. He doesn't have close counter. There's plenty of things wrong here. All the enemy units are below 100%, so there's no debuff there. But they don't really need that to kill, so it's just a clean sweep here. Obviously, if there was Wings of Mercy or something, this Est would not have the greatest time against Chrom, but that's how it goes when you don't run Wings of Mercy. And well, here we have the rare sight of brave Dimitri and someone else using Kaden. I don't see Kaden used too much, and probably good reason for why. Needing field buffs to buff your allies is very inconsistent, to say the least, especially on Ether Raids. So it's definitely nice to not rely on that. Here they're just getting set up here and decide to go in for the snipe on Shamir, which is 100% something people can and quote-unquote should do against this particular layout if they're too spooked about Shamir, because it just allows you to not deal with some potential shenanigans that could happen, none of which happened this season, but Chrom does not have too much defense here, so Dimitri gets to proc his, what is it? Blue Lion Rule, is it? Is that what it's called? In order to get the guaranteed follow-up attack, because apparently it's tied to that. Here you see Ellawood just gets one shot, of course, and it's GG at this point, because it's not like my team's actually going to be doing anything here. And they're just hitting end turn. Of course, they had Flame as well, so they're just stacking a bit of damage reduction, and he really needs it, especially on the side of Res. My particular team here does not attack Res too much, so that's kind of a small issue, just a small one. But just some solid buffing, and you don't need heavy merges to win the match. Speaking of merges, we have this team here. Pretty standard structure levels and things. But yep, maxed out Mechaya here, and that's about it. But not too shabby. Of course, one issue is that her base defense is kind of low, so baiting Chrom is kind of non-trivial, especially since Deadeye removes the damage reduction. So it's not the greatest idea to just hit end turn if you don't have enough buffing, or you have some follow-up, like say you just straight up take out Chrom. That would also work. But they decide to go ahead and just leave. But of course, the problem with leaving is that Elwood moves first, and then Chrom's always basically going to use the change fate there. And yep, ultra overkill with Deadeye. 210 damage. Yes. But yeah, that's about it, because depending on how people place their unit, Shamir can move this way instead. And then Mirabilis can dance to allow Shamir to attack someone, but yeah, that I don't think that happened this season. But a common theme is people taking out Chrom by attacking him from melee range to weaken him, or just straight up take him out, and then use a ranged unit to finish the job. And it's totally legit, because if you run close counter on Chrom trying to deal with that, you will still die, for one. And for two, now you're not running, in my case, attack speed push 4, so you just have less attack and speed, which is never going to end well. At this point, they're just going to be able to stall pretty conveniently here, while they go yoink the ether structures. Not entirely sure what they're up to here, but I'm sure it'll work out. Because now they're in position for Regan to pick up the ether structure and whatnot, so there we go. Haven't seen too many Mechayas around, but I imagine people do run her, because especially with lots of armors or cav units like dual lift running around, if people run Null C Disrupt, healers are also running around, so there's definitely some things going on there. Here we have the good old brave Hector and company. Kind of interesting to see him being used with brave Lucina. Of course, this is a save team. I'm kind of confused because he's running Special Fighter. Of course, the thing is Special Fighter doesn't work if you're below 50% HP, I guess. And it is kind of important when you're losing to have some sort of special acceleration here. But of course, I'm guessing you figured out the problem already. Unfortunately, Hector is unable to kill Elwood, because they invested too many resources into buffing his defense and res, and not his actual kill power. Like, they're straight up running soul, they're running bracing stance, and not like, I don't know, mirror stance or something. So they just straight up do not have the attack to kill, and because of that, well, again, we don't have Wings of Mercy on Chrom, but if we did, he could have gone in to attack someone. But Shamir, Survivalist Bow, no follow-up, gets the double and do quite a bit to Hector. And Duma manages to finish off Hector because he's no longer adjacent to Ashnard and company, and within range of Flame. Or that, there's no Flame here. What am I saying? He's not in range of, what's his name? Ashnard, because Ashnard also debuffs passively. And, well, Elwood, he doesn't have Desperation, so he can't one-round KO Naga, but it's not the end of the world. We don't really care too much about actually winning. But Duma, again, with Bold Fighter, gets to wreak havoc. And now that Guard Bearing is out, Draconic Aura is here to just barely take out Ashnard, but it's enough. And, well, that's a rip. But yeah, this team goofballing once again, and Wings of Mercy proving to be more useful again here, but they do surrender anyways, so it doesn't matter for this particular instance. But it kind of does later on. Alright, so we have an interesting team here. You would think, like, just looking at these units, you might expect, like, Vantage, because, spoil, if you haven't figured it out already, there's The only technical vantage check is Shamir, and if you're in vantage range, her survivalist bow kinda doesn't work, so yeah, about that. And they have Fjorm for the isolation. After the Duma chip damage, Fjorm is unable to isolate Olivia, but they're definitely not going for that. And here I figure I might as well just point out this Layla is just too slow to double Shamir, because Survivalist Bow and double solos are procs, so she has like 65 speed or something, which is not amazingly fast. Like Regan's will still double, like straight up, but yeah. Regan's will still double and whatnot, but you know, it's non-trivial to have any unit double. They decide to smite up and just run away, but they leave Regan in range, who's stuck thanks to the heavy trap, so Elowood can go in and pick up the kill. And we can have Duma walk forward. Mirabilis has aerobatics. She was isolated anyways, so it doesn't matter, so she gets to attack there. And Chrom gets to obliterate Layla. He was obliterating anyone in his range there, but she had the most HP, so that's who he went after. And Duma gets to meme pivot. And well, Duma shy of one-shotting Naga there, but Naga also kind of barely one-shotting Duma. 10 out of 10. But it is a not a maxed out Naga, so totally fine, right, Kappa? But Glimmer here easily takes out Chrom by a mile. And they decide to take out Elowood here. And of course, Cav effective damage quite useful in general. Just the Mechayas in general in Aetherids, solid tech option. But then they decide to attack Mirabilis here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know why. Because in doing so, they charged up Mirabilis' Iceberg. I guess to be fair, to be fair, Sabotage Attack did proc, but there is attack res Rhine, so I'm pretty sure, as you can see there, Mirabilis' base damage was slightly less than Plumeria's HP, so if they didn't attack with the arm, they would have been better off there. They wouldn't have to have dropped another unit, but they attacked, and so ripperonis. And well, we have good old brave Hector and company here. Not very many structures up, that's pretty standard, pretty solid merges on units. Of course, this is towards the end of the season, so of course we're going to get matched up with some people with somewhat competent teams. Let's see what they do here. I haven't watched this one yet. Looks like they're just getting set up. I'm not sure why they had Hector go back. Okay, they move up Altina to take out Shamir. Seems solid. She's relatively safe there if you know what you're doing. So they decided to hit end turn here. Elowood's obviously going to move first. Mirabilis dances, and of course this Hector not only one-shots Elowood, but doubles back, so there was no chance of him living. And because of how the AI works, melee goes before range, so Chrom doesn't even get to attack Hector, but it's not like he would have killed. So they hit end turn again. Chrom does a decent amount of damage to Hector, but of course it's nowhere near enough, and so Hector can just proc soul, heal a little bit back, but it doesn't really matter at this point because Duma gets also one shot by Hector and can't quite double. It's too slow, feels bad. Maybe someday I should run not distant counter on him and like actually, I don't know. What would be a meme? Attack speed solo Duma? That sounds quite interesting to say the least. It would work, I guess, but I am running plus attack on him, so if I wanted to go speed, plus speed would have been better. But with that, it's just a super solid end turn sweep. Nothing my units can really do here, especially since, like, if Shamir got to attack and then Chrom, maybe we could have killed Hector, but I don't think so. It would really rely on Shamir to do a lot of damage, and I guess she can do a lot of damage to an extent, so... But... I'm kind of forgetting what replays I've already gone over. I think this is the next one. I'll go check afterwards. But again, pretty decked out units. And well, no duo's hindrance on this team. Somehow people still manage to drop units against this defense even though I don't have duo's hindrance at all. So the only thing that could be annoying to people is the Duma plus catapult thing. But other than that, most of the units are generally squishy-ish. And of course here they're going to take down Shamir because they don't want her alive to attack Dual Lin or company. That wouldn't be a great idea. And of course, it's not like Lin needs the dragon effectiveness to kill here because she gets the brave weapon effect. And so, of course, she's going to be able to take out Chrom. Doesn't quite one-shot, but pretty close to it. And it's just GG, nothing too special here. Just attacking a lot of times and getting those brave weapon attacks in. They already knew the other bolt trap is not a thing, so they can just safely make this play. And of course, Mirror Bliss is no way in heck going to one-shot Dual Lin unless a miracle happens. So, yep, nothing too special there. Her being bonus was honestly more annoying for me offensively, just because some of my particular units are relatively low on defense. My team doesn't really buff defense in general on offense, so we can't take too many hits from Mirror Bliss on offense. And here, you should probably figure out already, this is some sort of a save team. And another Ashnard being used. Naga with speed defense, double solos. It makes sense. One of her problems is getting doubled with her non-existent HP, so it's definitely a thing. And indeed, it is dual save, and they even have Ashnard. Ooh, they have Near Trace. Interesting. So it looks like they're just getting set up. They're probably, with Reagan in that kind of position, they're probably looking to initiate into Shamir, and they got the double smite in, so they're going to guarantee that they can always take out Shamir, and thanks to Kanto, Reagan can just run away. And of course, with the intentional structure placement, of course, things could have went sour if Elwood, if they positioned their units in such a way where Elwood moved straight down, and then it was just Aramia by herself. But of course, Elwood doesn't actually double, so it wouldn't have mattered. It just would have been more awkward. But again, my dancers have too much attack, so they're just going to attack instead of dance. But Elwood attacking anyone here isn't really too useful because of the near save on Hilda. So they're going to take out Olivia here. And yeah. Good ol' end turn. And of course, the thing that save balls allows you to do is make these kind of player phase kills and then just hit end turn. And as long as your save units can hold up against the enemy, then you're all fine. But unfortunately for this Hilda, Duma is ready to meme. And so he gets to do quite a bit of damage to Hilda, and straight up 1-round KOs. Doesn't even need a special there. At this point, Chrom also has armored effectiveness, so Harden isn't going to like Deadeye here. And Ripperonis. That res plus 30 though. That's a little bit of res. But a similar theme, they just can go ahead and player face Chrom, because Chrom is pretty slow. Ashnard is able to pick up the kill on Chrom, especially since he's no longer at 100% HP. At this point, it's just our units derping around, so there's not much we can do at this point.
I don't think so.
But yeah, my defense doing a bit better than it really should have against some of these particular teams. This particular save team, because of Chrom with Deadeye, is not trivial to win with against this team, especially since they can't use any damage reduction against Deadeyes, except for, I guess, specials. Yeah, let's just run turn 1 Aegis or something, I don't know. Got 2 more replays here, including this one, so let's make it quick because we're kind of running out of time. Of course, we mentioned earlier, no duo's hindrance, so obviously it's time to spam out the duo heroes and the merges. And I guess the harmonized hero in the case of Tiki. I don't see Tiki too often nowadays, but I guess one issue of Tiki is getting in position. It's easier with Regan because of Kanto, but they're just getting set up here, opening the lines after breaking that catapult to fling their units in. And so now they can go ahead and take out Duma easily and start their chain of shenanigans. Take out Shamir, of course, because no one wants to face tank Shamir. Same deal with Chrom. People can probably just face tank Elwood, but good old-fashioned shenanigans. Of course, there's so much anti-synergy on this team. The most obvious one is Duma's upheaval with Chrom's Rengreether. They don't work together. Not at all. But Regan doing Regan things, of course. And so she's able to just take out Mirabilis. And now they're just chilling. They don't need to pick up the ether structures if they don't want to. I keep forgetting to try out Gale Force on Regan, but so many times during Astra season I find that Senior Shell, as we like to call it, actually does a decent amount against especially some particular units. But anyways, moving on to the last replay. Alright, last replay. It wouldn't be a replays video without the random Brave Ike and Brave Lucina shenanigans, because you don't see that too often nowadays. At least I don't. I guess I do to some extent, but I'm not sure exactly why people bring or don't bring Brave Ike and Brave Lucina against my defenses. I'm guessing for my Dark Season, they just don't want to mess with some particular shenanigans. But here they decide to make this play to corner Shamir. They don't have Null C Disrupt, so of course Shamir is going to be a threat to Brave Ike on the initial combat. But the problem with this is that Brave Ike just can't kill Elwood, and Elwood has lunge, so yeah. Shamir can just attack Brave Ike here, but she's adjacent to Elwood, so Ike can still counter. But of course, Duma does Duma things and manages to take out Ike. Otherwise, he would have gotten a pretty nice heal off of Duma. So it's good that Duma actually picked up the kill. Well, at this point, our units are just kind of potatoing. Their Brave Lucina is awkwardly placed, but they can fling in their units to help take out the shenanigans. So Naga taking out Elwood there, and Regan taking out Duma because Duma definitely can be scary if you just let him attack your units and you can't one-shot and you allow him to double. Of course, they can take out Shamir here. But of course, the problem with this is, well, melee units first, Chrom next. Mirabilis attacks and is unable to kill, but it doesn't matter that Mirabilis can't kill here. The thing that matters is Olivia gets to move next, and Chrom is hit by Tactics Room, so the Change Fate can't go off. So I don't know if they planned the Tactics Room thing. I kinda doubt it, but not in. I can see why they placed your Tactics Room on column 2. It's definitely a thing to consider against, like, I guess some cav lines. I guess my jank layout. There's a couple layouts where there's a threatening ranged unit on column 2. But you can basically say that for any column, so it's really honestly to dodge panic manner. Well, with that we have 5 minutes left. I thought I would just also mention that it says 5 days ago here, but this match happened also on day 1, just relative to the current time, it's still not quite 6 days ago. But I got 4 matches in the first day, so it was super awkward. 5 rematches, I think. So, kind of jank. We did do alright on offense. We pretty much just luck-sacked really hard on the matchmaker. There wasn't anything relatively too difficult other than that match we goofed up that with Brave Edelgarden, Legendary Lucina and company, that we really didn't need to goof up. If I just remembered that attack and speed tactic were a thing, then I would immediately realize the rally would never happen and I could just run away. But yep, we're just dropping out of Arena this week, not even trying here. Technically speaking, you know, I could build up a unit and stay, but the problem is next week, because it's no longer water season next week, so I wouldn't be able to abuse blessings next week, so I figured it's just not a smart idea to try and stay in tier 21 for the next 2 seasons, including this one. But anyways, we'll be back when the results drop in. Whoops, accidentally pressed Etherids while navigating around menus, so top 3k, that's cool. Got pretty lucky on defense. We're like 100% not staying in tier 38, I'm pretty sure. There might be a chance, but my defense would need to be absolutely insane, so I don't think it's possible, but we'll see. So I'm not going to be running a bonus unit, we're just going to be goofballing. And so, yeah, it's also wind and fire, so we can't, like, use Legendary Julia on defense. We can chuck in someone else, like, I think I have Shinon on defense on Dark Season. So that will be an option. And looks like the stuff isn't out for Resonant Battles yet. Awkward. Alright, Arena demoted as expected. And I'm guessing Arena, so on Legion's Battles will have the results already in. But a good chunk of feathers this week. Unfortunately, the amount of orbs we're getting nowadays isn't amazing. It's been usually we get like 300. Yeah, we'll have to wait for that. Usually we get like 300-ish orbs every month. Currently, I'm around like 280 orbs so far this month, so we're pretty close to 300. But the end of the month is approaching pretty quickly, so chances are we're only going to end up around 300 orbs again. I think last month I got 298 orbs, which is a bit unfortunate because for June we want to stockpile as many orbs as we can get, but we'll be back when Resonant Battles decides to roll out the rewards. And here we go, Resonant Battles. Had to wait a bit, but that's gonna be it for this episode. I guess to foreshadow what's going on, I'm toying around with using Shinon. He's not going to be doing much, I would presume. because he can't get enough attack to save his life, but maybe he'll... And he doesn't have no follow-up, so I'm guessing that it just won't end well for us. Maybe I should run Vantage on him? Not a terrible idea. I might think about that. I might slap Vantage on him and then get outsped because we're not running low attack speed, or get one shot or whatever. Doesn't matter too much. But that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye.